Heartbroken, my daughter-in-law whispered. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. So I still remember the exact moment she said it. Her voice was barely above a whisper, like saying it out loud, made it more real. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. She didn't cry. That's what made it worse. She just stood there, holding her phone, looking down, like something inside her had quietly broken. And in that moment, I realized something was very wrong in my house, 'cause no one who is truly welcomed says something like that. Who said that to you? I asked. She hesitated, just for a second, then quietly, Emily, my daughter. The room went still, 'cause that was not something I expected. Not from her, not from my own child. I looked at Sarah, my daughter-in-law. She still hadn't lifted her eyes, still holding that phone, like it carried something heavier than just words. Show me, I said gently. She didn't argue, didn't defend. She just handed it to me, and there it was. A message. Simple, cold, cruel in the quietest way. You try too hard. You'll never really be family. I stared at it, longer than I should have, because I was trying to understand something impossible. How did it get this far? A year ago, things were different. When my son married Sarah, I was happy, truly happy. She wasn't loud, wasn't demanding. She was gentle, the kind of person who notices things, who remembers how you take your tea, who asks before changing anything, who tries, even when she's not sure she's wanted. And maybe that was the problem, because people like that are easy to overlook, or worse, easy to push aside. Emily never liked her. Not openly, not directly, but in small ways, subtle ones, the kind that don't sound like insults, but feel like them. Oh, you made this? That's interesting. Or, we don't usually do things like that here. Always polite, always controlled, but never warm. First, I thought I was imagining it. That maybe it was just adjustment, new people, new roles. But then I started noticing something else. Sarah changed. Little by little. She spoke less, smiled less, started second-guessing herself, even in her own home. One evening, I walked into the kitchen and found her standing there, holding two different plates. Is this okay? She asked. I frowned. Of course it is, I said, but she didn't look convinced. Emily said we usually use the other ones for guests, she added. Guess. That word didn't sit right, because she wasn't a guest. She was family, the least she was supposed to be. But now, standing there in front of me, she didn't look like she believed that anymore. And now this message, this one sentence, had said everything out loud. You'll never really be family. I handed her phone back slowly. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. She shrugged slightly, a small tired movement. I didn't want to cause problems, she said. That answer hit me harder than anything else, because that's what people do. When they feel like they don't belong, they stay quiet, they adjust, they shrink. And I had let that happen. In my own house, that's when I made a decision. A quiet one, but firm. 'Cause some things, once you see them, you can't ignore anymore. Don't worry, I said. She looked at me, confused. About what? She asked. I held her gaze. About where you belong, I replied. A pause. Because I'm about to make that very clear. She didn't understand yet, but she would. 'Cause what I did next was something my family wasn't ready for. And this time, I wasn't staying quiet. Heartbroken, my daughter-in-law whispered. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. So that night, I didn't confront Emily. Not immediately. Because anger is loud, but clarity is quiet. And I needed to be sure. Not of what Sarah showed me. That part was clear. But of everything else. How long this had been happening. How deep it went. And how much damage had already been done. Dinner that evening felt normal. Too normal. Emily sat at the table, scrolling through her phone, laughing occasionally, like nothing had happened. Sarah sat across from her, quiet, polite, careful, and that's when I noticed it. Something small, but telling. Every time Sarah spoke, she glanced at Emily first, like she was checking if it was okay. That wasn't just discomfort. That was conditioning. And I had missed it. Dinner's good, Daniel said. Sarah smiled slightly. Thank you. Emily didn't look up. Did you follow the recipe I sent? She asked casually. Sarah hesitated. I adjusted it a little, she said. That was all. Nothing wrong with that. But Emily's reaction? A small pause. A faint smile. Oh, she said. Just one word. But the tone said everything. And just like that, Sarah's smile faded. She looked down at her plate. And no one else said anything. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't new. This was a pattern. A quiet one. But consistent. And the worst kind, because it hides behind normal. After dinner, I asked Emily to stay. Just a minute, I said. She looked up, slightly surprised. Sure, she said. Daniel and Sarah went upstairs. And just like that, it was just the two of us. Emily leaned against the counter, arms crossed. What's up? She asked. I didn't answer right away. I just looked at her. Really looked. And my daughter. The one I raised. The one I taught kindness to. Or at least, I thought I did. Did you send this? I asked. I held out my phone. Her message. She glanced at it. Didn't react. Then shrugged. Yeah, she said. No hesitation. No regret. Just casual. Why? I asked. She let out a small breath. Because it's true, she said. That answer hit harder than I expected. Excuse me, I said. She straightened slightly. Mom, come on, she said. She doesn't fit here. I stared at her. She's your brother's wife, I replied. Emily rolled her eyes slightly. That doesn't automatically make her family, she said. Silence. 'Cause now, she wasn't hiding it anymore. This wasn't subtle. This was clear. And intentional. Do you hear yourself? I asked. She shrugged again. I'm just being honest, she said. Honest. That word again. People always use it when they don't want to admit they're being cruel. No, I said quietly. You're being hurtful. She scoffed slightly. She's too sensitive, she replied. There it was. The final piece. Dismissal. Because it's easier to call someone sensitive than to admit you've hurt them. She's trying, I said. Emily shook her head. She's pretending, she said. I felt something shift inside me. Not anger. Something colder. Something clearer. And what exactly do you think she's pretending to be? I asked. Emily didn't hesitate. One of us. Silence. Because that sentence said everything. Not just about Sarah, but about Emily. About how she saw family. About who she thought belonged. And who didn't. I took a slow breath. Let me make something very clear, I said. My voice calm. Steady. She is one of us. Emily didn't respond immediately. Then, we'll see, she said. That was it. That was the moment. The line she crossed. Because this wasn't about opinion anymore. This was about respect. And I realized something important. This wasn't going to fix itself. Not with silence. Not with patience. It needed action. Real action. Because if I didn't step in now, I would lose more than just peace in my house. I would lose someone who deserved to feel safe in it. And I wasn't going to let that happen. Not again. Okay, I said finally. Emily frowned slightly. Okay, what? Asked. I looked at her. Okay, I repeated. A pause. Now I know exactly what I need to do. She didn't understand yet. But she would. Because starting tomorrow, things were going to change. And this time, I wasn't going to ask. I was going to decide. Heartbroken, my daughter-in-law whispered. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual. Not because I had to, but because I had already made a decision. And decisions like that don't let you sleep. The house was quiet. Still, I walked into the kitchen, made coffee, sat down at the table, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel uncertain. I felt clear. Because now I knew the truth. Not the polite version. Not the version people hide behind. The real one. And once you see that, you can't pretend anymore. Around 7 a.m., I heard footsteps. Sarah. She walked in slowly, like she always did. Careful. Quiet. Good morning, she said softly. Good morning, I replied. She moved toward the counter. Started making tea. Same routine. Same small movements. But something about her felt different today. Even quieter. Like last night had taken something out of her. I watched her for a moment. Then said, "Sit down." She paused. Turned slightly. "Me?" she asked. I nodded. "Yes." She hesitated. Just for a second. Then came and sat across from me. Her hands folded together. Nervous. That bothered me. More than anything else. Because she shouldn't feel nervous around me. Not here. Not in this house. I talked to Emily, I said. Her eyes lifted immediately. Oh, she said quietly. A pause. And, she asked. I didn't soften it. She meant what she said. Silence. I saw it hit her. Even though she tried not to show it. Her fingers tightened slightly. But she didn't speak. Didn't defend herself. Didn't react. Because she was used to this now. Used to being the one who absorbs it. That was the moment I knew. This had gone too far. I'm sorry, I said. That made her look up. Surprised. For what? She asked. For not seeing it sooner, I replied. Her expression changed. Slightly. Not relief. Not yet. But something close to it. I didn't want to cause problems, she said again. I nodded. I know. A pause. But staying quiet didn't protect anything, I added. She didn't respond. Because deep down, she knew that too. I need you to trust me, I said. Now she looked confused. Trust you, she repeated. I leaned forward slightly. Yes, I said. Because I'm going to fix this. Her brows pulled together. How? She asked. I held her gaze. By making it clear where you stand in this family. She blinked. I already know where I stand, she said quietly. That hurt to hear. Because the way she said it wasn't confidence. It was acceptance. Of something she shouldn't have accepted. No, I said firmly. You know where you've been placed. A pause. But that's about to change. She didn't understand yet. But she was listening. That was enough. Around 9 a.m., everyone was downstairs. Daniel, Emily, Sarah, all in the living room. I stood near the center. Calm. Because this wasn't emotional anymore. This was intentional. I want to talk, I said. Daniel looked up. About what? He asked. I didn't look at him. Not yet. Instead, I looked at Emily. About respect, I said. She sighed immediately. Mom, not this again. It's not a discussion, I said. That stopped her. Because my tone had changed. This wasn't a conversation. This was a line being drawn. I spoke to you last night, I continued. And I listened carefully to what you said. Emily crossed her arms. Okay, she said. I nodded. And now I'm responding. Silence. 'Cause now, they all felt it. Something was different. Sarah is not a guest in this house, I said. I finally looked at Daniel. She is your wife. Then back to Emily. And she is family. Emily rolled her eyes slightly. That's your opinion, she muttered. No, I said calmly. That's the reality. A pause. And if you can't respect that, I let the words settle. Then finished. You won't be welcome here. Silence. Complete. Daniel looked shocked. Mom, he said. Emily stared at me. Are you serious? She asked. I didn't hesitate. Yes. 'Cause this time, I meant every word. This wasn't about choosing sides. This was about choosing what was right. And protecting someone who had been standing alone for too long. Sarah didn't say anything. But I could feel it. The shift. Because for the first time, she wasn't invisible. And this was only the beginning. Heartbroken, my daughter-in-law whispered. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. So you won't be welcome here. The words didn't just land. They echoed across the room. inside all of us. Emily stared at me, like she was waiting for me to take it back. I didn't. Wow, she said finally. A short, sharp laugh. So now you're choosing her over me? There it was. The question people ask when they don't want to face what they've done. This isn't about choosing, I said calmly. It's about behavior. She shook her head. No, it's not, she snapped. It's about her. She pointed toward Sarah. She came in here and changed everything. Sarah flinched slightly, and that small reaction, said more than any argument could. No, I said firmly. She tried to fit in. Emily scoffed. By pretending, she shot back. I took a step forward. By trying, I corrected. Silence. Because that word carried weight. Trying. Something Emily had never had to do. Because she already belonged. Or at least, she thought she did. Do you even hear yourself? I continued. You've been pushing her out from the moment she arrived. That's not true, Emily snapped. Then explain the message, I said. She didn't answer. Because she couldn't. Daniel finally stepped in. Okay, everyone just calm down, he said. But his voice lacked authority. Because for too long, he had stayed in the background. Now, it was catching up. No, I said. We're not calming this down. Because calming it down is how it got this bad. We're finishing it, I added. Emily let out an angry breath. So what, you're going to kick me out now? She said. I looked at her. Really looked. My door is open to you, I said. A pause. But not your behavior. Silence. Because that was the difference. You can stay here, I continued. But only if you treat everyone in this house with respect. Emily crossed her arms tighter. And if I don't? She challenged. I didn't hesitate. Then you don't stay. Daniel looked between us. Tension rising. Mom, this is going too far, he said. I turned to him. No, I said quietly. What went too far was letting this happen for months. That stopped him. Because he knew it was true. You saw it, I added. You just didn't say anything. He looked down. Guilty. As silence. Still a choice. I didn't think it was this serious, he said. I nodded slowly. That's the problem, I replied. None of you did. Except Sarah, who had been living it. All this time. I turned toward her. She was still standing near the edge of the room. Quiet. Like she didn't want to take up space. That ended now. Come here, I said gently. She hesitated. Then slowly walked closer. I placed a hand on her shoulder. Grounding. Steady. You belong here, I said clearly. Not loud. But strong. This is your home too. Silence. Because those words had been missing for too long. Sarah's eyes filled slightly. But she didn't cry. She just nodded. And that was enough. Emily looked away. Frustrated. Angry. But also uncomfortable. Because now, she wasn't in control of the narrative anymore. You're making a mistake, she muttered. I shook my head. No, I said. I'm correcting one. That landed hard. Because deep down, she knew it too. The room fell quiet again. But this silence was different. It wasn't tension. It was consequence. Because things had been said now. Clear. Direct. And there was no going back. Emily grabbed her phone. I need some air, she said. And walked out. The door closed behind her. Not slammed. But not gently either. Daniel exhaled deeply. That could have gone better, he muttered. I looked at him. No, I said. It went exactly how it needed to. 'Cause sometimes, things have to break a little before they can be fixed. He didn't argue. 'Cause for once, there was nothing left to defend. A few seconds passed. Then he looked at Sarah. I'm sorry, he said quietly. She looked at him. Surprised. For what? She asked. For not seeing it. He replied. That moment was small, but important. 'Cause now, she wasn't alone anymore. And that changes everything. I stepped back slightly, gave them space. 'Cause this wasn't just my fight anymore. It was theirs too. And for the first time, it felt like we were finally facing the truth. Not avoiding it. not softening it, facing it, and that was the beginning of something real. But whether it would heal or fall apart completely, that depended on what happened next. Heartbroken, my daughter-in-law whispered. My sister-in-law said I never belonged here. So The house felt different after Emily left. Quieter, but not peaceful. Not yet. As silence, after something like that, isn't calm. It's waiting. Daniel sat down slowly, ran both hands over his face. I should have stopped this earlier, he said. No one argued, because we all knew. He should have. Sarah stood near the doorway, still unsure where she fit in the room. That hadn't changed yet, but it would. Come sit, Daniel said softly. She hesitated, then slowly sat beside him. Not too close, still careful. That distance said everything about the last few months. I didn't realize how bad it got, he added. Sarah looked at him. I didn't want to make you choose, she said quietly. That sentence hit harder than anything else, because she had been protecting him, while no one protected her. You shouldn't have to stay quiet to keep peace, I said. She nodded slightly. I know that now, she replied. And that mattered, because understanding something is the first step to changing it. A few hours passed. The house remained quiet. Emily hadn't come back yet. Daniel checked his phone a few times, but didn't say anything. Around late afternoon, we heard the door open. Emily was back. Her steps slower this time, less confident. She walked into the living room, stopped, looked at all of us, and for the first time, she didn't look in control. She looked uncertain. I've been thinking, she said. No one interrupted. Guys, now? We were all listening. I didn't realize it was this serious, she admitted. The same words Daniel had used earlier, but this time, they carried more weight. I thought, she paused, then continued. I thought I was just being honest. I nodded slightly. And now? I asked. She looked at Sarah. I think I was being unfair, she said. Silence. Because that wasn't easy for her to say. I didn't try to understand you, she added. Sarah didn't respond. Right away. She just watched her. Carefully. Like she was deciding whether to believe it. I made you feel like you didn't belong, Emily said. A pause. I'm sorry. This time, the silence felt different. Not tense. Not heavy. Just real. Sarah took a small breath, then said something simple. Thank you. No anger. No long speech. Just acceptance. And sometimes, that's more powerful than anything else. Emily nodded, then looked at me. I didn't expect you to take it this far, she said. I held her gaze. I didn't expect it to go this far either, I replied. A pause. But once it did, I wasn't going to ignore it. She nodded slowly, understanding now, not just what she did, but why it mattered. That evening, we all sat down for dinner again. Same table, same people, but everything felt different. Not perfect, but honest. And that changed everything. Emily spoke less, but when she did, she was careful. Not fake, just aware. Sarah seemed lighter, not completely relaxed, but no longer shrinking. And Daniel, for the first time in a long time, was present, not avoiding, not distracted, just there. After dinner, I walked into the kitchen, watched as Sarah started clearing the table. Emily followed a moment later. Need help? She asked. Sarah looked surprised, then nodded. Yeah, thank you, she said. And just like that, something small started to rebuild. Not because everything was fixed, but because everyone finally understood something important. Belonging isn't automatic. It's not just about being there. It's about how you're treated when you are. And respect is what makes the difference. Later that night, as I turned off the lights, I thought about everything that had happened. How something so small, a sentence, a message, had revealed something so big. And how easy it is to miss these things until they become impossible to ignore. But this time, we didn't ignore it. We faced it. And because of that, we didn't lose each other. We found a better way to stay. For more inspiring and heart-touching stories like this, please subscribe to our channel.